Now let's move on to our next massive topic, the sclerosis spectrum and pathogenesis of atherosclerosis. Look at our title slide. We are going to master the 6 key stages of pathogenesis today: endothelial dysfunction, lipid accumulation, monocyte recruitment, smooth muscle cell migration, fibrous cap formation, and finally plaque rupture. Also take a look at this beautiful plaque composition table at the bottom. When you look at an H&E stain, remember these color codes. The toxic lipid code looks yellow or orange and indicates vulnerability. The fibrous cap is eosin pink and its thickness determines stability. Calcification is hematoxylin purple, showing advanced stiffness. Inflammation is mixed pink-purple and hemorrhage is clean crimson-red, warning us of an acute complication. Moving on to the next slide, we need to clarify some terminologies. Arteriosclerosis. It is the genus, not the species. Arteriosclerosis literally translates to hardening of the arteries. It is just the umbrella term. Under this umbrella term, we have 4 distinct types: atherosclerosis, arteriolosclerosis, Monckeberg's medial calcific sclerosis, and fibromuscular dysplasia. First one is atherosclerosis. This involves plaque formation or atheroma within large arteries driven by lipids, cholesterol, and inflammation, ultimately leading to luminal narrowing. Arteriolosclerosis. This is the thickening of small arteries and arterioles, heavily associated with hypertension and diabetes, resulting in reduced blood flow and end organ damage. Third one is Monckeberg medial calcific sclerosis. Here, calcification is strictly in the tunica media of muscular arteries. It does not usually obstruct blood flow and is often benign and incidental. Fourth one is fibromuscular dysplasia. This is a non-atherosclerotic, non-inflammatory disorder that affects medium-sized arteries like the renal or carotid, resulting in stenosis and aneurysms. To make this incredibly easy to memorize for your exams, I have created this sclerosis matrix. Rate this table with me. Atherosclerosis hits large and medium arteries with lipid-driven plaques in the intima, leading to massive impacts like MI, stroke, and gangrene. Arteriolosclerosis hits the small arterioles, causing thickening due to hypertension or diabetes, leading to ischemic issues like renal failure and retinopathy. Monckeberg hits medium muscular arteries, calcifying the media only and remains clinically silent. And fibromuscular dysplasia hits medium arteries like the renal artery with focal irregular thickening, causing severe hypertension. Now let's look at slide 4. This is a huge high-yield trap. Monckeberg medial calcific sclerosis. Here's the classic exam fake-out. The patient presents with heavily calcified rigid pipe stem arteries on X-ray, but their pulses are completely normal. Why? Because the calcification is restricted entirely to the tunica media. It does not bulge into the lumen. The clinical result? No luminal narrowing. It is an incidental finding only. Next up is a classic vignette. Fibromuscular dysplasia. Whenever you see this exact patient profile, a 25-year-old female whose presentation is severe sudden onset secondary hypertension, you must think of FMD. If they do an angiography, you'll see a classic string of beads appearance in the renal or carotid artery. Alright, it is time to enter the big boss, atherosclerosis. This single disease accounts for roughly 50% of all deaths in the Western world. To understand it, we use the response to injury hypothesis. Listen to me carefully. As the slide says, this is not just fat clogging a pipe. It is a chronic, low-grade inflammatory response of the arterial wall. It is a slow-motion battlefield. Let's walk through that battlefield. Step 1. The breach. The initiating event is chronic endothelial injury. The location? It frequently occurs at branching points and bifurcations due to turbulent blood flow. The risk factors like hypertension, smoking, and diabetes compound this scraping, causing the endothelium to become dysfunctional. Once breached, we move to step 2, the invasion. The dysfunctional endothelium becomes leaky. LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, seeps from the bloodstream and becomes trapped in the tunica intima. Once trapped, the LDL undergoes oxidation, and oxidized LDL is highly toxic to the local environment. This toxicity leads to step 3, the call to arms. Those angry endothelial cells express adhesion molecules, specifically VCAM1. Monocytes in the blood recognize this signal, stick to the wall, and squeeze into the intima. Here's the transformation. Once inside, monocytes transform into active macrophages and the macrophage attacks the oxidized LDL. That brings us to step 4, the gluttony. Macrophages attempt to clean up the toxic oxidized LDL by consuming it relentlessly. They gorge themselves until they become bloated and engorged with lipid droplets. At this point, they are reclassified as foam cells. Just like the meme on the slide says, first the macrophage asks, "Is for me?" And after gorging into foam cells, it says, "I regret everything." Because of that regret, we hit step 5, the wall. Those foam cells die, releasing their toxic contents and creating a necrotic core. Meanwhile, the injured endothelium releases platelet-derived growth factor PDGF. This PDGF calls smooth muscle cells from the media into the intima. These SMCs pump out collagen to build a fibrous cap in a desperate attempt to wall off the mess. Let's review the result on slide 12. Anatomy of a mature atheroma. It has two main parts, the fibrous cap, which is composed of smooth muscle cells and dense collagen, and beneath it, the necrotic center, which is a chaotic mix of cholesterol clefts, dead foam cells, calcium deposits, and necrotic debris. But not all plaques are equal. This is a tale of two plaques. A stable plaque has a thick, strong fibrous cap. It grows slowly, narrowing the lumen. Because blood flow is limited during exercise, this causes stable angina in the heart or intermittent claudication in the legs. Conversely, a vulnerable plaque has a thin fibrous cap and a huge necrotic core. Why is it thin? Because inflammatory cells produce metalloproteinases that actively chew up the collagen cap. And when that thin cap fails, we reach the rupture. Game over. As the slide says, it is not just about the size of the plaque. It's about stability. If a vulnerable plaque ruptures, even at a mere 40% occlusion, the toxic necrotic core is exposed to the bloodstream. The blood instantly clots over the rupture, creating a thrombus. That 40% blockage becomes a 100% blockage in minutes, resulting in a myocardial infarction or ischemic stroke. Finally, I've left you with pathologist's cheat sheet. Screenshot this. It perfectly summarizes the 4 types of sclerosis and the 5 exact steps of the plaque pathogenesis we just discussed. Master these slides and you will dominate vascular pathology.